Well, welcome back to another episode of the Park Hopper Show, and I have a wonderful returning guest with me today. It is Courtney Miller. Courtney, what is the name? I forget. Now that we just started, it's
Courtney's Crazy Amazing Adventures.
Crazy Amazing Adventures. And if you might remember her from when I first started this format, she was my very first guest last year, and I'm happy to have her back because she has just returned from an amazing trip to the new Epic World at Universal Studios, Epic Universe. And she is here to tell me all about it. So, Courtney, how have you been doing?
Doing great. How about you?
I mean, I can't complain. It's been a wild year since we've spoken.
Yeah.
But lots has gone on in the theme park world. They're announcing new parks on other sides of the country. But for this country, we are getting our first new one in, is it 25 years? When was California Adventure or Isle of Adventure? When was the last new one?
I think California Adventure was 2001.
That's somewhere around there. That sounds right. And was Islands of Adventure at Universal before that or after that?
I think before.
Yeah. Was it 90s, late 90s?
I think so. I think it was right around the same time as Animal Kingdom.
So we have gone almost a quarter of a century without getting something new, but it sounds like from what I've heard and what I've seen that the wait may have paid off. So tell us why were you there early?
Well, I'll tell you this, Universal was very smart in their marketing. They got the park done on time, and they had a 2-month period where it wasn't open until Labor or Memorial Day weekend, and they were ready. So they invited some of their top travel agents who sell them and have decent sales to come in and experience the park early. Now we did get, a notification that we are in practice. So we knew some of the rides might be down. We knew the shows might not be up. And so it was kind of one of those risk you take, but come check it out, see what it's like, and then go back and tell your clients about it. And so I got invited to come down for free. So I figured, what a great opportunity to go.
Well, yes. And you can't beat that price. So
right. I'm never going to get that again.
No, well, don't say that. Who knows what you get to go.
Well, it's fair. True.
That's pretty amazing. So I've seen a few spoilers online, but mostly I try to keep away from those kind of things. So I just know the basic outline and the outlook of the park. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and you just please feel free to fill in any of the gaps on here. So now it's classic spoke and wheel like Magic Kingdom, correct? Where you go in and there's worlds all over.
Yes, they were very smart in how they designed it. So they have a central area called Celestial Park, and it looks very much like a Greek area. You do see a lot of statues. We actually saw moving statues, which is really neat. And in the center of the park, they do have a few rides. And then there are 4 portals that go off on different sides of the park that you can enter. And so the 4 new lands with the portals are How to Train Your Dragon, Isles of Berk, Dark Universe, which actually surprised me with how much I really loved it. I'm not into the old scary movies, but it was very well done, and I very much enjoyed that. And then we have the Super Mario Nintendo World, and we have another Harry Potter world. So now with Harry Potter, it's the Ministry of Magic time, where they are in France.
Well, let's start off. I'll just go ahead and start with the Harry Potter because there's just so many Harry Potter people, and I'm not going to use any slurs, not dorks or anything like that for those people, but my wife loves it. And I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, that is the one thing I've seen a lot of these videos. That Ministry of Magic looks incredible.
Yes.
Tell me about that in person because it looks gigantic on camera, which is hard to do. So was it?
It's gigantic. We actually asked about the queue that you wait in for the ride, and they told us it can accommodate up to a 7-hour wait. So it is big. And you're going to walk into this land and just say, how did they fit this in here? It just doesn't look like that. And so you walk in, and what is really nice that they have thought through is if you do not want to do the ride, you still can go into the queue and check it out and then make an easy exit out. So if you want to see it but not experience it, you certainly can. So it's so much like the movie. You do go through that green dust or whatever it is that sprays up at you when you transform into the Ministry of Magic area. You walk through, you can see the apartments, you see fans going, lights turning on and off. I mean, it is identical to the movie. So it's really fun to walk through there. Now, they do have a single rider's line. So if you want to opt for that, the car can hold 14 people at a time. So I did the single rider line just so we could cut down on time. It did not work out for us. We had a 2.5 hour wait. We asked somebody when we got up there, how long have you been waiting? And they said an hour and 30 minutes. So we were like, well, we guessed wrong on that. The thing to know is on single rider line, you do miss part of the queue. So the main part everybody goes through, everybody's going to see the huge area of Ministry of Magic. But then the main line does take you through different areas. So you're going to go through the locker room where you're going to see Harry's locker and some of the others. You also go through, oh gosh, I forgot her name. The horrible witch that is pink.
Dolores Umbridge, isn't it?
Is that what? Sorry.
Yeah. Dolores Umbridge. I do remember that from the
Yes.
movies that I've seen. And just before anybody gets mad, it's flu powder because I had to look it up just now.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a Harry Potter person.
I'm not either.
But it does look incredible, but I just want to make sure that we get those words right before anybody gets mad.
Yes. We are not Harry Potter people, but we did watch the movies. I just, didn't take the best of notes. But you go through her office. So it's very interactive. There's a lot to see, a lot to do. The ride itself, I will say that if you have done the other two Harry Potter worlds at Universal Studios, it's a combination of Gringotts and the castle ride. I mean, it's well done. It's a lot of fun. It's worth the wait. But it's very similar to that. I don't want to give away any fun. No spoilers. I mean, you're going to get on this ride, and of course, nothing bad's going to happen. Of course, you're not going to run into any creatures, that kind of thing. So it's a fun ride, but it's a good time.
I've seen some of the videos, and it looks, I mean, the first time I went to Rise of the Resistance, and I went into that room and said, oh, this is huge. This is bigger, right? This room is.
Yeah.
Yes. So I've seen the videos. It looks amazing. You really hurt my soul when you said a 7-hour wait that they can fit in that building. That is a wild statement to make because that's anticipating a 7-hour wait, perhaps, when it opens up for.
Yeah. Well, and they've been really smart since they opened last weekend. They've not had that. The longest wait that I've seen has been 2 hours. Nice. So they very much have limited how many tickets could be bought for the park. Now, I do know that's expanding. I don't know when. But right now, wait times have been better than when we were there. So that's, so those people who got tickets for the first few months, I think are going to have a really great time. And
you said you are not a Harry Potter person. So how does this compare to the other two Harry Potter parks?
I mean, I still can remember the very first time we found Harry Potter in London. We actually walked by it at Universal Studios a few times, and I kept seeing all these people come out of this one area, and I kept thinking it was a bathroom. And I was like, I keep seeing a lot of people come out of there. This must be like a really cool bathroom. So I told my friends, like, give me 1 second. And I went in there, and here was this whole world that I had no idea was there. And I came running out to get my friends, like, you're never going to believe it. And so having that experience where it was so exciting, it is the same level. You walk into France under this huge, well, okay, let me tell you this. I did talk with somebody, and they were telling me it is twice the size of the other two Harry Potter world areas. So it is, I mean, it's tall. It's 3 stories tall. It's very large. We did see some characters out and about some were just randomly standing there taking notes, and we were just looking at them like, are you supposed to be doing this? Or are you, and talking with some of them, we found out they were in character. There was a detective who was still looking for some people that he has his eye on. So it was very immersive, very fun. Several restaurants in the area to check out, which that's very different too. The food is incredible in this park. They really stepped it up. We are gone from the days of just regular pizza and hot dogs, we have really you're eating the way that each land would eat. So
Well, let's get into the food a little bit later, if you don't
yeah,
mind. It's okay.
yeah,
So, I saw that the people walking around, that was something that was being featured on the YouTube videos we watched a lot, and that kind of made me really happy because that takes me back to my childhood at Disney and Universal, where people were just in character walking around. That was a big deal when I was a kid. It was like it was supposed to be a movie set, Universal
yeah.
Studios, and Frankenstein would be walking around. Or something. It was very strange now looking back that was going on, but this was year round, not just at Halloween. So that was really incredible that they started having the on the street actors again. I love it.
Yes. Yes. They're fun to talk with. Yeah, lots of interactive places to be, hidden areas that you can just kind of find and sit in and watch what's going on in front of you. So yeah, very fun area.
I mean, I'm really excited, and we're only a quarter of the way through. So there's just the one ride there, correct? Now at the Harry Potter area.
Right. There's the one ride. There's also one show. And the show's very good. Mystical creatures. So this show is featuring the prequels to Harry Potter. I've not watched them, but the people I were with, they told me very well done. If you like the movies, you're gonna like it. So puppeteering is what I'll tell you with the mythical creatures, and it was really kind of fun to see. Again, there's this red tent. It looks like a circus tent in the middle of France. And there's people going in and you're like, oh, let's go check this out. Well, here it's a full show. You have no idea how they have a theater this big to accommodate this many people in what looks like not a big enough area. But yeah, everything is so well hidden. There's surprises around every corner. The show is fantastic. The actors are fantastic. So yeah, would recommend the show as well.
That is amazing. Like every little bit sounds more exciting. And I do want to just bring up you said it's correctly. It is not next to the other two parks, correct? It is.
No.
Yes. So before
Yeah.
I probably should have said that.
Yeah, it's
in relation.
south.
South. Okay. I mean, is it far away? Is it?
It's about a 10-minute drive from the other parks. So transportation, they have definitely have that situated. And so there are parks that are going to take you to City Walk, which will get you to Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, or there are buses taking you to Epic Universe. So they're kind of, depending on where your hotel is, they're in different directions. And that was like the huge perk to staying at the new Helios hotel is we are part of the park. So you have your own entrance. It's right there. So that was kind of a huge perk for us. And if you can afford it, I would say that is definitely someplace to stay for at least one night and check it out. So it was really neat.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, you're not going to be able to jump on the train and take it from the other Hogwarts locations. Now you keep saying this, and I'm not a Harry Potter person, and you said you're not, but what are they doing in France? Is that in the movies? Is that in the story?
Yeah. Isn't that when they go? I think they're in France when they do the Ministry of Magic. I think that's the location of it all.
Now I keep hearing Ministry of Magic, and I keep nodding my head like I know what that is. So, okay, well, I'll just assume that's right. Ministry of Magic in France, of course.
Okay, you're gonna have to watch the later movies.
I've seen them all, and I enjoyed them all, but I thought they were all in London. So
maybe
ahead of time.
Oh, I could swear it's in France because the music. I think the music when you're in there is very French. Now you're making me question. I think that's right. Well, yeah. See, even non-Harry Potter fans can enjoy this. So there, it's for everybody.
If you're wrong, I'll cut it out.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So let's see. Moving on to what is next. All right. So I brought it up because that was what Universal used to be to me. Dark Universe. It was again in the 90s. They had a horror makeup show, and they had characters walking around, and then that kind of took a back seat. But Universal Monsters were a big deal for the longest time, and then they tried to reboot them, and they tried to bring them back, and they made this Tom Cruise movie with the Mummy, and they had a whole Dark Universe planned like the MCU, and that movie was so terrible that they scrapped the whole thing. But these animatronics and all the things here I've heard amazing. So tell me about the Dark Universe.
Yeah, so you walk in, and I mean, you're instantly. This would be the area to go to in the dark. We did not do it in the dark because I'm a big chicken. But even in the daylight, you were just waiting for someone to jump out and scare you. I mean, it just has that creepy vibe. It's actually the smallest portal, but it's still a good size. There's still a lot to see. So there were characters out. There was a lady out with her violin, and she was telling us the story as she played her music. I mean, just totally giving you that creepy vibe. In here are 2 rides. There is one that is a roller coaster. It does kind of go around a lot. So if you get motion sickness, I would not recommend that one. But it is very short. So if you want to give it a try, it's a fun one for the kids if you want to do something. The other ride, which is Monsters Unchained, I'll be honest, I had one eye closed almost the whole time.
But you had one open, so that's good.
But I had one open. It's very good. The animatronics, there were so many times we were looking at him going, that's a real person. That's a real person. And I mean, they weren't, but they are very good, that they are believable. They're moving around. So my understanding of it all is that this is the daughter of the creator, and she is trying to bring her father's monster back to life. Well, of course, something happens and people get a hold of it that aren't supposed to. And so you're in the middle of the ride when everything goes kabam. But luckily, it always goes wrong. But luckily, they save you at the end and you can live another day. But I will tell you, there are a lot of flashes of light. There are sudden movements. Now, we never went upside down, but there were times I was laying flat on my back in this seat. There are some liquids that might sprinkle you a bit. So be prepared for that. I would not take my 6-year-old on this ride. It would terrify him. I might take my 12 and 11-year-old. Let them experience it. But you go into this beautiful, dark, creepy castle. There's a lot to look at in the line when you're going through. So it's a very cool thing. I would do it again. The animatronics, now knowing what I know, I would open both eyes. But the animatronics are very good. So I give that one, all the stars. They did a great job with it.
That, I mean, what I've seen from there, it really is incredible. And that's, I mean, so for so long, Disney has been like, we're going to kind of toe the edge and make it's family friendly, but we'll try to spook you. But Universal just kind of says, we're not going to try to be second-rate Disney. We're going to go, like, they have the Hollywood Horror Nights and things like that.
Yes.
They are not afraid to terrify you.
No.
Really bring it. So that's, I like to hear things like that. So my kids don't like roller coasters and things like that anyway. So I wouldn't worry about them being there because guess what?
They wouldn't like it. Yeah. Now, I will tell you, the restaurant there we tried out, it was a quick service restaurant, but everybody kept raving about this burger because the buns are black. It was actually really good. But the theming in the restaurant was very, very creepy. Everybody plays their part very well. The Invisible Man is walking around, and he's pretty angry. He's a pretty angry man. So he's a lot of fun to engage with. If you ask him for a picture, he's going to roast you. So just be prepared for that. But lots of great characters in this one. They're out roaming about quite a bit. You can meet them all. So it's a great land. But again, and here's a little tidbit for you. You're going to hear bells. I think they told us it was about every half hour. You'll hear like old church bells. And when the church bells ring, run to the back of that area because that is when the windmill will catch fire. And it only catches fire for about 30 seconds and then it goes out. So there's a little tidbit for you.
That's pretty cool. Now, so you bring up a point here. So we said it's a spoken wheel. Do they connect at the back or do you have to go back out the front portal?
You got to go back out the front portal.
So it's not like Magic Kingdom where you just kind of meander around. So that I love the theming, how they keep it separated like that.
Yeah.
So now and we brushed past it. I think we talked about it before I started recording, but tell me about these portals that you go through in case people aren't sure what that is.
Yes. So the portals are actually very cool. So they look like this big arch. And on top of each of the arches, They have different things on top symbolizing what the portal is. So How to Train Your Dragon has things that you're going to see in the dragon world up there, but across the arch it says, "We, my friends, have dragons, lots and lots of dragons." So each portal has something different. Dark Universe said it's alive. And when you walk through, there's this beautiful screen in there, and Dark Universe was purple with like lightning bolts going on constantly. I forget what the other ones were but they're all very different. They all have music associated with them. So you feel like you're being transported into these worlds. So, and at night, all 4 portals send out a very bright light on top. And if you look up in the sky at night, they all connect.
Oh,
so it's
wow.
Kind of cool.
Man, I'm just get excited thinking about it. So it's so separated. Like when you walk through a portal, like you can't see or hear anything going on in the adjacent sections, right? It's like, it is really like a portal to another world, another
world.
Yeah. That is incredible. Oh man. All right. Well, next up, let's talk about the Isle of Berk. That's the How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
And now I will preface this to say I've also seen these movies and I have not enjoyed these movies. And my daughter, I know.
No.
I enjoyed the Harry Potter movies. These movies, man, oh man. When my oldest, who's just getting ready to start high school now next year, and I'm real upset. But when she was little, we would go see all of these movies, and it was the first thing that I really had to sit through at a theater and go, "Oh man, this is my jam." But this place looks. I was like, it makes up for the movies. It looks incredible. The dragon is super cute in the movie, but I did not care for the movies. But the character, no notes on that. So tell me about this amazing place, and hopefully it's as cool as it looks.
It is definitely as cool as it looks. It's breaking my heart that you don't like this. Are you going to see the live version this summer?
Oh, I mean, I'm being talked into maybe going to see Lilo and Stitch, which is another one that I hate, and everybody loves Lilo and Stitch. And I never could do that with my kids. I didn't like that movie when it came out, but I think it's just I'm probably in the minority of that as well. It seems like so. I'll probably check out the live action version of that. Maybe I'll check out the How to Train Your Dragon movie. It looks cool. I mean, technologically wise, it looks good. I don't think that's the correct thing I was trying to think of, but man, those movies. I think it was the guy's voice.
Oh, okay. Don't like Hiccup.
Who's the guy? Is his name Hiccup? The main? Okay. Toothless is the dragon, correct?
Yes.
All right. He's super cute. Hiccup's voice, I think after a while, I really I started getting a little twitch. Oh gosh, please.
I think you need to give the live version a try. It's a different actor. You might like it better.
Okay, well then there you go. He's not doing as long as he's not doing an impression. There, I'll be thrilled. So, all right, enough How to Train Your Dragon slander. Tell me about this amazing park, because I saw it and I said, oh, why would they make a whole world based on How to Train Your Dragon? Because Paul doesn't care for that. But then I found out, oh, people love these movies. They were all very successful, and they already made 3 or 4, and now they're making a live action. There's just a whole other world of entertainment that I don't care for, that I guess is super popular. So please tell me how great it is.
You make it so easy. So here's what was really cool. In 2019, when they started doing this new park, they started working up the plans and everything started moving forward. DreamWorks was actually starting to work on the 3rd movie for How to Train Your Dragon. Mm-hmm. So they collaborated. So when they were working on the scenes, they were working on Epic Universe and creating an actual Isle of Berk. It is my favorite land because it is so immersive. Mm-hmm. I mean, everything from little dragon tails hanging out of their houses, swinging back and forth every now and then, to sounds and the characters walking around, the food. It is quite an area. You first walk in and there's this giant rock right in the middle, and it is the story of Berk. And it's the same thing that Hiccup says at the very beginning of the movie, that this is Berk and this is how things were, this is how things are now. And it is really just one of those, it gets all the emotions in you. Meeting Toothless, did not expect to feel the way I felt. Like, I just, it's like a character. It's like hugging Mickey. But when it's a dragon and you're just looking at him and you're like, I know that this is an animatronic. However, right now I feel like I'm actually talking to a dragon. His facials, his eyes, his purring, whatever sound he makes, like it just was so great. And Hiccup was there and Astrid was there, and they didn't rush anybody through. Now, this is going to have one of the longest lines. It was up to 2 hours the day we were there. We went there very first, so we waited maybe 20 minutes. They don't rush anybody. They let everybody have their time. They ask them questions. If they want to stick their hand out and let Toothless come to them, they can. It is a really fun experience. The guy there that plays Hiccup, he's good. He's very good. Knows his, I mean, he was telling me all about his outfit and what he uses each piece of armor for. You know, he was really great. So we really enjoyed him. The rides, there are 3 rides in this area. There is Wing Gliders, which is a roller coaster. And I would say it's very similar to Slinky Dog, where it's no crazy hills, great family ride. It might be just a step better. We very much enjoyed it. A lot of twists and turns. It was a great, great ride. There's a very, very, very wet ride, which when it's 90 degrees, it's refreshing. And it's not a question of how wet you're going to get. It's you're going to get soaked. So just be prepared for it, because you're on a little Viking boat. And yes, other things can get you wet, but it's the boats behind you and in front of you. When you guys are turned like this next to each other, you can shoot each other.
Oh, wow.
And they're going to. I mean, that's just
Love it.
you're going to get wet. So yeah, we tell everybody, just if you want to ride it, just know you're going to get soaked. It's going to happen.
Second option. There's no, like, okay, because sometimes those water rides, you know, depending on where you sit, you're safe. But
I would be relentless if I was in the boat and, you know, just, you look too dry. Let me help you with that.
oh, that's funny. Anybody looking like they don't want to be wet is getting double guns on them. Is that, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You asked for this. Right. And then there's a wonderful show called The Untrainable Dragon. And again, this massive theater that you're like, how did they get this in here? It was very good. They have 2 singers who are kind of narrating and singing the story for you. It's the whole gang. So you're going to see Astrid and Hiccup. Toothless makes quite the appearance. I knew it was coming, but even once it happened, it was ooh. So it's a great show. But yeah, this area, it's the little details that make this just incredible. Even in the bathroom. We were in the bathroom just cleaning up for a second and getting water, and there's a mural in there. And it's just beautiful. And it's of, you know, the Vikings with their dragons. But yeah, there's a ton of detail in here. I guarantee there's like a million Easter eggs that you could find that reference to the movie. But it's just one of those great places to walk around, get lost in for a little bit. The stores are all filled with How to Train Your Dragon merchandise. I was really sad that I only brought one bag, because I would have bought so many things. But yeah, it's a great area. I really enjoyed my time there.
Well, I haven't brought this up yet because I was going to wait to the end, but what is the merch situation there? Is it all just cool stuff everywhere you look? Just, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we didn't spend a ton of time looking, but I couldn't find Dark Universe in Isle of Berk. So all How to Train Your Dragon was in Isle of Berk. So
nice. Okay.
yeah, if you want to buy your stuff, you make sure you buy it when you're in that land. Because you'll be like me, forget and not do it. And then you come home and you regret it and you're like, I have to go back. So,
well, and you know who to call? You call Courtney.
That's right.
Set it up for you. Well, so what is the coolest thing you saw for sale at any of the places? Not just.
They had the cutest toothless popcorn bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that's always been like the Disney game, but Universal's, you know, getting it there. And he was adorable. Like, I would have just brought him home and put him in my office. He was so cute. But they had Viking hats and Viking hats with braids, and they had everything. It was great. I loved it.
I don't know what has happened to us as a country in the last decade, but somehow the special popcorn buckets have taken over, where I would have never guessed that this was going to be such the trend it was, because Disney does it. And I mean, they've had they had the Lion King one that was my favorite that you held up to little baby Simba, but they had the Figment that people stood in line all day. And now they're doing it here at Epic Universe. You go to the movie theater and there's, every single big movie has like a $20 popcorn bucket you can buy. And it's like, these are the biggest souvenirs. I don't even know what you do with them when you get them to your house, because
Yeah, they're big.
we've had a couple and then they're just in the cabinet. I'm glad they're not even like, they're too big to display almost, because they're just so unwieldy in your house, but they are all very cool. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they're jumping on that bandwagon as well. So
Yeah.
all right. And now I saved what I was assuming the best for the last of these worlds. The one that my kids, especially my oldest, was excited about, the Super Nintendo world. And they opened one of these in California, correct? At Hollywood or Universal Studios Hollywood, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been to that one?
No.
Okay. The one thing I will say, we saw that on TV, and I've had friends that have visited, and it looks so cool, but it looks so small. The one in California. But this one, I assume that they're not making that mistake, because it's going to be packed, because this is the place that people go. So tell me about the Super Nintendo world.
Yeah. It certainly is like the popular place. And I'm not big into Super Mario, and that's completely fine. I can completely understand how this would be someone's highlight. It is 3 stories. So I'll start with the negative. There's a lot of stairs. So if you don't like stairs, and the way it's built, because it's 3 stories high, the walls kind of come up quite a bit. Now, we were there in the middle of the heat of the day. There's no breeze. There's no shade. So stuff to keep in mind. I would actually recommend, if this is important to you, make that your very first stop, first thing in the morning, and spend as much time as you want in there. They have
almost a valley, right? You're saying like it's a valley, like it's built up on all the sides of it.
Yeah. This is actually the only portal. When you first step in, you go up escalators to get into this world. And then there's a level, I think the levels all go down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my understanding from Hollywood is the first section is similar, but the Donkey Kong area in the back is all new. So they don't have that from my understanding in Hollywood. But so in Donkey Kong World, they do have a ride. It was shut down the day we were there, unfortunately, so we didn't get to ride it. But I have seen a lot of cool videos where it looks like you jump the track. Very similar. We did hear from a lot of people that it is bumpier than they were expecting, but we were told that was on purpose. They wanted it to be just like the video game. So keep that in mind. Yoshi's Little Ride. That sucker doesn't move. It was so slow that we were just like, you can't even catch a breeze on it. So that is a very family-friendly ride if you want a quick little stroll through the park. And then there is another one that is a very interactive ride. You actually have to wear the special goggles for that they give you. But again, that one was also down, so we didn't get to it. I know, a lot was down our day, so that was unfortunate. This land is definitely, if you have a child that has sensory issues, this is going to be overload. There was constant bing, 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 all over. It was very crowded, a lot of people. There's a lot to see. So that was the first thing I thought of, was if you have somebody with sensory issues, this is going to be a lot for them. So I would prepare for that the best way you could. It's done adorably. You honestly feel like someone picked you up and put you down in the middle of a video game. I mean, you're just in it. People were running around us with their bands on. You can buy special bands and actually rack up your points just like a video game. And so they were running around like scanning everywhere. And we were just like, okay, that's kind of cool. We saw people doing stuff that were cracking us. They were running in circles, just trying to get as many as they could in a minute. And so it's very interactive. There's a really cool area to be a part of. There's more space back in the back towards the Donkey Kong area. You can also meet Donkey Kong at that point. He's out. There is a very popular ice cream stand back there. And it's probably what a lot of people are seeing. You get the souvenir Donkey Kong mug, and there's a waffle cone with ice cream in it. That had a very long line, and that seemed to be a very big favorite of a lot of people. So yeah, this is definitely going to be the land where if you love Super Mario, this is where you're going to go. And right now, this and one other area are the only things open for early entry for those staying at the Universal resorts. So it's a great way if you're staying at Universal, great way to get in there early, have an extra hour before they let everybody else in.
No, oh, so you get a full hour.
You get a full hour.
Let's go with that. Come on.
Right?
Right? Yeah.
Right?
Well,
yeah.
So I saw those Donkey Kong mugs. They were very Instagrammable. Like that was real big online. They were real cute. Is the meet and greet with Donkey Kong, is that a guy in a suit or is that an animatronic?
I think it's a guy in a suit.
Okay. I wasn't sure. It's not like the dragon, right? It's not.
No, he was moving around a lot. Okay. Yeah, it is a guy in a suit because we did see him have to take a break and come right back out. Okay. Yeah, Toothless is there all day. So
good for him. Yeah. Toothless putting in the work. I appreciate it.
I know.
The hard effort. Yes, this is the one my daughter is just, I mean, she's a big video game person and she was hoping there's been rumors that eventually they'll expand and throw some Legend of Zelda in the parks because there's a live action movie in a couple years that maybe they'll kind of, like they did with How to Train Your Dragon, that they're kind of secretly working on doing things like that while they make the movie. So when it comes out, it's all just in your face, ready to go. But I think the Super Nintendo World, that's the one that when they first announced it, I thought that was going to be its whole, like a whole park that was all Super Nintendo. And now it's 4 things. So it's even better.
Yeah.
Now these bands, they're like the Magic bands, correct? At Disney. Yeah. Did they have something like that in the other portals or just at Nintendo?
Just Nintendo. So that tells you how popular this is going to be if they're having something just specifically for that area.
Did they have anything like that in the other ones? Like were there special wands or anything like that?
There are special wands. You can't, they do have the whole Oleanders or whatever experience you want again. They do have that over in the Harry Potter world. I didn't see anything like that for Isle of Berk or Dark Universe. So I think it was just specifically for those 2.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy to me that, they're so popular they could just sell it for a quarter of the park and it still be, it's a must have. I mean, we're not new Magic bands every time we go, people, but that would be something that I think,
absolutely. What a fun way to spend time in the park, being interactive like that.
Right. And I mean, unfortunately, like my little one, I think who would enjoy it. And also my wife. I'm not sure. I've heard that thing about the sensory overload when you get in there, and sometimes that might be rough on the 2 of them. But
yeah, and that's where staying at one of the resorts can be really helpful. Mm-hmm. Getting in there an hour early and having that time. I mean, I know everybody goes for the rides, which is smart if that's important to you. But having that area of the park kind of to yourself that first hour, if everybody else is in line for the rides, that's really kind of cool. I will say, the day we were there, it was not raining, but it was raining a few days before. And one of the workers was telling us that area is very slippery when wet. So that was something, I don't know if they just didn't think through it or what. But again, this is all the preview stuff. This is exactly what it's for, is to work out the kinks. So hopefully they've done something about it because I guarantee it's not going to be dry all the time.
Oh, maybe just they could figure out how to make the sound effect of Mario fall in every time everybody slips and something like that. That would be amazing.
I would love that job to sit there. Oh, they go boom, hit the button,
and then the person just mad on the ground staring at you.
Right.
All right. Well, so you mentioned staying at these hotels. You got to stay at what appears to be the most amazing hotel over here, the Universal Helios Grand Hotel, which is quite a name. I mean, it's going to be hard to live up to the grandiose title of it. So tell me about this hotel.
Oh, it's beautiful. The entry to it is beautiful. I mean, you can see it coming from a mile away. It is grand. It is very well done inside. It's very modern. I got the same kind of feel from like the Riviera at Disney, just kind of that grand. The entryway it's kind of like Riviera where it's not huge, but very well done. The pool, this is awesome. The pool is really nice. If you go underwater, you can hear music. So, I mean, little touches like that really made this stand out. But you're paying for the view of the park and access to the park
Mhm.
because it is there. There is a special security just off the main entryway, and it just says entry to park. They did ask us, we had to show our room key before we went through security, and then coming back from the park had to show our room key, which I do really appreciate.
Mhm.
You know, if you're paying for that service, they're really honoring it and making sure you're actually a guest. But yeah, you have your own special entrance. When we were there, our room, we actually did not get a room facing the park. Those were all sold out. So we were actually facing, we still had a great room. We were facing the backside of the Harry Potter world. So we could see a little bit from our room. So that was really kind of fun for us. The rooms are beautiful, well thought out. I wouldn't say it was as grand as like the Grand Californian, but along those same vibes. Everything was lush and beautiful. The bathroom was beautiful. We just kept standing in the bathroom going, "Oh my goodness, this is so nice." So it's the little things. They have a wonderful bar on the top of the hotel called Bar Helios. We went up there for drinks. We sat outside so we could overlook the park, and it was breathtaking. I mean, and they do have a viewing area if you don't want to stay for the bar. You can just view it, and it is worth it to take that elevator ride up there and see it. It is, you can see it all. You can see the whole park, and seeing it at night lit up is just incredible. But the bar itself is beautiful. It looks like you're in, what was the planetarium?
Mm.
I mean, the whole dome is lit up with constellations, and you can just sit there and look forever at what you're trying to find. It is beautiful. So there's a lot of little touches about this hotel that make it great, but it is the backdrop of Epic. I mean, no matter where you are, you can see this hotel. It's just beautiful.
Now, is there theming? Like, what is the theme of the hotel? Is there something?
I don't really know that it has
Okay.
theme.
I was told by my daughter when I said it, she was like, Helios, it's some Greek. She's into mythology. I was going to say.
That could be true. Yeah, yeah, that's probably true because it is a part of Celestial Park, which is the Greek area.
He's the personification of the sun, apparently. So,
Well, that makes sense. The dome on the top is pretty bright. Yeah.
so well, so it's more of like the Riviera than it's more like classy, not in your face like characters and stuff. Okay. It sounds pricey when you start. Yeah. Look at your face.
Yeah. I mean, you're paying for like,
yeah.
it's nice. Now, here's the thing is like, so the top 3 hotels at Universal that we would consider like their deluxe, those come with free express passes.
Yeah.
Helios does not at the moment.
Well, because it's new, you know.
Because that's what I'm thinking too. Because it's new. I kind of feel like maybe in a year or two that will change. Because you're paying, I mean, close to the same price as you would at the other ones. Now that is something to mention. The other 2 parks, the express pass, when you get it for them, it covers a lot. Really, the only thing it doesn't cover are for the little rides that never have a wait and Hagrid's. However, we're hearing rumors that that's changing this weekend, so we'll have to see.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. We'll have to see. But over at Epic, there are 3 rides not included in the express pass, and that is, I mean, there's only 11 rides. So
yeah,
that's kind of one of those like, I might just grin and bear it and wait in line. But I have clients who have bought the express pass because they're going in June, and it's hard to know what that park's going to be like then. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, there's some things with opening a new park that, you got to know about. But yeah, express pass doesn't work on 3 of the major rides.
Well, let me ask you something then about getting tickets. When they first announced it, it was you had to buy a 3-day ticket to Universal and you could only go to Epic one day. Is that still in play? Okay, now they've opened it up to single day. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is a great way to just
get people in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what they were really hoping for. And I think it kind of hurt them. that people were like, oh, well, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be busy. I don't want to do that. So they have opened it up now where now for the rest of this year, how I have seen pricing, you can buy a 1-day ticket to Epic. And then you can also buy like a 2-day ticket to the other parks. You still can get like a 3-day park pass plus a 1-day to Epic pass for this year. Now, 2026, we're seeing some things already changing. For 2026, I'm seeing if you get a 3-day park pass, that includes all 3 parks. And it doesn't sound like it's restricted to just 1 day at Epic.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then they also have a pass where you can add Volcano Bay if you wanted to do that as well.
Now, have you ever done Volcano Bay?
Yes.
Is it cool? You said your eyes lit up.
It's the best water park I've ever been to.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a big statement. That's good.
Yeah, and I've been to the Disney ones, and the Disney ones are great. This one had a lot of thrills, and I have, a 13-year-old, and I mean, this was like awesome to him, and I even enjoyed it. They definitely have a lot, and they have something for everyone.
Nice.
More than just a few things. Like, we were busy. We did every single ride, and it was great.
Well, so we have a difficulty here because we have a theme park about 10 minutes down the road from us that we have summer passes to, and they have a pretty good water park. It's wave pools and stuff like that, and it's, slides, nothing like I would travel out of state to come to, but then to think, this, it's a lot, for the price of a summer pass, we could go here, to a vacation spot, but you're saying it's worth the ticket admission to the Volcano Bay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now, they are going to have a big chunk of next year closed. I think they close in October of 2026. So just keep that in mind if you're vacation planning. But again, that's why you use a travel agent, because we know those things. But they are getting rid of my favorite thing about this park. And they had Tamu Tamu, which was a bracelet, like it looked like a little watch, and they would put on you. But it allowed you to not burn your feet standing in line. You could go scan in for a ride, and it would hold your place in line, and then it would alert you when it was time to come back. I know.
Where is that at all the rides?
I know.
I mean,
yeah, it was great because we'd go to the wave pool or we'd go to the Not So Lazy River and enjoy that, and then it'd beep and be like, "Oh, let's go back." Yeah.
I mean, to me, that is. Well, so I got in. People, I was in the minority. I was upset when the virtual queues started going away because to me, I'm like, I hate a long line. And if, even if you're in a long virtual queue, you're still meandering about, you're eating snacks, you're shopping, you're doing other stuff that I don't understand the taking it away. But I do get the people who don't get to, experience the ride. But
well, and from what I could see from the virtual queue, because I thought we were going to have to do it as well. So I was watching everything I could. It seems like it was a mess. There was
We're talking Disney, right? Is this?
No, I was talking. No, Ministry of Magic had one.
Oh, okay. No, well, so at Disney they got rid of all the virtual queues. So
yes.
So you're saying they do have those now? Then
So they started one at Universal for the new Harry Potter ride. It's actually called Battle of the Ministry.
Okay.
They had it up for probably 3-4 weeks, and then they shut it down. It was so awful.
Oh, no. Okay.
And people who were coming early were livid that they didn't have a chance. Like, they wanted to wait 5 hours instead of not being allowed to come into the ride. So they did away with it. They actually shut the ride down for like 6 days, and they were doing some maintenance to it and all of that. And they opened it up the day before we went. So we got to try it. But my understanding is when they first opened the ride, there was a big drop in it that they have now removed. The sensors could not handle that big drop, I guess. And so the big drop wasn't there when we were there. So it was a great ride still. But yeah, they did have a virtual queue. They did take it away. So I don't know if it's going to come back when they open it full capacity. So we'll have to see.
Now, I'm sorry. I had been responding to the one that over at Disney where they took away Tron and Tiana, and people were like, well, that's right. We can't wait to stand in these lines.
And Guardians. I loved Guardians.
The virtual queue is the way to go. Now, I will say the thought of sitting in line long enough to watch 2 of those Harry Potter movies Because if you put it in those numbers, that's a long,
That's a long time.
long stinking line to be in one. I mean, I don't know. So you're if you're there and the lines are reasonable, which you said so far, they don't seem like they're too unseemly.
No, they seem like they're doing really great. And I think from what I'm hearing, Universal only sold a limited amount of tickets every day. They were telling us too, this is the first time that they're really opening the park and watching where people go, so they can have a good understanding. So when they do get to full capacity, they're going to be able to manage this park better. So they're being very wise in what they do. But the first few days it was open, the longest the Battle of Ministry had a 90-minute wait is the longest I saw. Now there were rumors like the first day it was a 5-hour wait. I don't know that was necessarily true. I think that's where a lot of people went at the first thing in the morning. And then as it got up and running, I think it was just, there was a lot of people like, oh, it's so long, whatever. The rest of the day was 90 minutes. So I don't think that's bad at all.
Oh, all right. Well, so do you think with what you saw, do you think you could do everything in one day if you set your mind to it? Or is it, you'd have to for sure have to say it all?
I mean, we would have had time to do everything when we were there. Now we had a limited capacity and it's hard to know what that limited capacity will be. But right now it certainly looks like you can do everything easy.
Okay. Well, I like the sound of that because
I do too.
That was the thing, thinking, oh, it's going to be brand new. It's going to be crowded.
Crazy.
It's going to be, everybody's going to be taking it in, but it's going to be impossible to see it all because, first new park in 25 years. So, all right. Well, we did not, I made a note mentally to come back to it. We didn't get into the food really for the thing. So did you eat a lot of things at the park when you were there?
We did. We sampled every world but Super Nintendo.
That's okay. Now, I do like that Super Nintendo, the little Toad diner. It's super cute that I've seen online. So even if you just go and check it out. And the Donkey Kong cups, of course, have been the mugs for the ice cream. It's been a big deal on Instagram if you've seen any of that. But I can never tell because usually the things that are more geared towards children taste the worst. But it's like, look at all this sugar and color, and the kids are like, yay, and the parents go, oh my goodness, this was a $15 scoop of ice cream that I don't even know what flavor this is. But what did you have, and what are some rankings of some things you ate?
All right, so in Isle of Berk we tried the bread cone with macaroni and cheese. We got the PB&J, so it was,
hang on, what is a bread cone? You just said that like it's a thing.
So it's in the shape of a cone. So it looks like they took a piece of flat bread and they rolled it and put it in this cone, and then they filled it with macaroni and cheese. And then ours had, oh, it was awesome. Ours had pulled pork, bacon, and it was delicious. The bread was, it was carb overload, but it wasn't too heavy. We were afraid it was gonna like kind of do us in, and it wasn't. It was just enough. It was a great. I mean, I had it for a meal, but it certainly could be a snack. The bread was really good. Like it just, with the cheese on it, it just had a great flavor to it. So we had that. I will say a great deal for, I think it was $19.99. It could have been $18.99. One of the two. You could get the refillable Epic Universe mug, and you can refill it as many times as you want around the park. And they have those Coke machines where you can pick like a million different flavors and however you want. So one of the girls I was with,
it's like the Disney cups, but you can use it in the park.
Yeah.
Hey, come on.
I'm telling you, they look at everything Disney does wrong and they're like, yeah, let's change it.
Do you think like just seeing everybody having a good time and just high-fiving each other going, we spent all this money, but look how excited everybody is. And we're just doing little things like how much is soda costing us that we can't get a couple of them for free,
Right. And this mug had like a nice little handle that you could put it on your backpack, and it was easy to refill it. Now I will say with the refillable stations, we could always get water from there too.
Oh, that's good.
And ice water. So we refilled all day long. I mean, it was 97 degrees when we were there. So I wasn't focused on pop. I was focused on water. So that was really nice to be able to refill everywhere. And they were everywhere. We never had trouble finding them. So then we went over to Harry Potter and we went to one of the quick service areas, and I had the creme brulee, and it was delightful. Um, so this is something that's a little different than Disney. So they do have the app where you do have to order your food on the app in the park. So that's a little different. It used to be you could just kind of go up. Now, like Starbucks and things like that, you still can go up. But just I think all the food places you have to order online. And you can tell them I'm either sitting down or I'm picking up to go. So that was kind of nice where several of the places we would say, we're going to sit down. And as soon as it would say, okay, let us know what table you're at. And every table had a scan code on it. And so you would just scan it and it would let the kitchen know what table you're at and someone would deliver our food. And it was pretty quick. I don't think we waited more than like 4 or 5 minutes for our food. So it was pretty quick to get everything. But there were a lot of people coming in, grabbing their food and leaving. But yeah, the creme brulee was really good. We had the butterbeer crepes. Those were really good. Heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, like if you want a sugar rush, that's the place to do it. And then in Dark Universe, we stopped at Das Burger and got the black burger, and it was delicious. It was probably one of the best burgers I've had. It was just really good.
Well, I mean, I love a theme park burger, so something like
Yeah.
that. That's actually a good one. I like
Yeah.
the sound of it. So now you brought it up before we started recording, but you said this park, they said it was built with cell phones in mind. So it sounds like with the food, that is something that worked out well, because this is the first theme park in America that has been built, really like huge one, since cell phones have taken over. So what else?
Yeah.
Was there anything else like in particular that really like, oh, this is nice that
Yeah, they spent some time really up in their app, which I really appreciate. So before for Universal, you couldn't see wait times on the app unless you were in the park. Now you can. You can see wait times sitting here in Ohio if you want to. But I think they honestly went and looked at Disney's app and they were like, okay, what do they have we don't? And they upped it. So it's easy to find the bathrooms. It's easy to find the shows and the times that they are running the shows. It's easy to find characters. Yeah, all of that was very helpful. Oh, this was brilliant. So the other two parks have a lot of rides you can't take bags on. You can't take anything on. And so you go through metal detectors to make sure that you actually don't have anything. And they provide you with free lockers. They do that as well in Epic. Number one, they're the bigger lockers. They're not the tiny ones that you have to try and squish everything in. And it's facial recognition. So instead, no, don't. Oh, it was awesome. I don't think they care what my picture looks like. I mean, they're definitely tracking you all over this park. But instead of having that little code or card that you have to scan and remember to hold on to, you go up to it, it takes a picture of your face, you confirm that's your face, it opens the locker, and then when you come back around on the other side, again, takes the same picture, opens your locker. It was such a time saver. And it was nice that I literally could throw everything in the locker and not be like, oh, do I have my card? Do I have this? It was nice. Yeah. Well done. Very bravo.
I'm more of a Disney person historically. What is this word that you're saying? Free?
Free. I know.
That's wild. I mean,
it is.
That's
smart.
I hope Disney wakes up and they're like, wait a minute. We've been sleeping for a while on what's going on in our parks. And this is,
what is it? Tron? Tron offers the free lockers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's similar to that.
Not
it's
a big locker. But.
Not a big locker, but I think they understand, if we're requiring them to put their stuff down,
right,
we better not make a mess.
Right.
So there were some rides where we did go through one metal detector. The rest of the rides, it was, put everything that's not secure in here. There were some rides where it was like, as long as it's secure. So if your cell phone's in your pocket and it's not coming out, it's fine to take on the ride. So it just kind of depended on which ride it was.
And as soon as the ride starts, the cell phone comes out and then whips out of your hand and flies over. I can see why they don't want that happening on some of these rides because
Yeah. Yeah, it's a safety hazard, certainly. So mine stayed in most of it because when you don't know the ride, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to lose my phone or not, and I really needed to get my flame theater. So
if everything is set up with your phone, you definitely do not want that flying off, off the ride. And you're like, well, great, everything is gone for my day. It's ruined. So
I'm done. Can't get home.
I mean, this place sounds incredible. Did you go to any of the other Universal parks while you were there, or did you just hit the big?
No, this was a quick 27-hour trip.
Oh,
so
hey. Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah, so I flew in the night before. I flew in the night before, stayed at Helios, and then our flight was at 10 o'clock that night. So it was a quick.
And you didn't sleep because it sounds like you were just staring at the hotel, at the bathroom, and all the different things.
No, I don't think we slept very well, but we had so much adrenaline, it didn't matter. It really did not matter. But we do have to talk about the 2 rides in Celestial Park because those were 2 of my top favorites.
Now, I was not aware that there were rides in Celestial Park, so please, yes. Let's go. Yes. This is the roundabout in the middle, right? When you first start, it's the Central Park. Okay.
Yes. So there's a big fountain, which they do have a nighttime show with the fountain, so you definitely have to check it out because it's got water and lights, and it's not as grand as the Disney California World of Color show, but along those levels. Like, it's really neat.
Hang on. Okay, so like in my head when I'm picturing this, I guess I've never seen like an above shot. I never thought about it. How big is this park? I just assumed that was what they were calling the Central Park. Is it like a park-sized park? Like it's
pretty big.
Yeah. Okay. Because if they're doing shows and rides, I didn't realize it was. I kind of thought it was just like the staging area where they let you in and then sent you on your way out. I didn't realize it was a big that you could.
No, I would say it's similar to it's probably bigger than the central area of Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
So if you're taking the main road and then the castle and all in front of the castle, probably similar, maybe a little bit bigger. Okay. So so the fountain does a really cool show at night. They do shows throughout the day with the music too. But if you want the big show, you got to wait till the evening time. But there is a carousel. And the carousel is really great. I just love the originals, but the carousel is all animals. Some of them go up 6 feet in the air, so they go up pretty high. They all turn 360 slowly with the music. So you're not just going in a boring circle. You're kind of on this. I don't know. It was fun. The music was fun. We really enjoyed the carousel. And then this was my favorite ride, Stardust Racer.
Okay.
This is 2 roller coasters that race. They intertwine many times, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's kind of like the same level as Velocicoaster, but there's 2 of them.
Oh, so it's like a good roller coaster.
It's a good roller coaster. Okay. There's a green side, there's a yellow side. I think green is better. It does take off. I think it goes up to 65 miles an hour. So you come down the track and you go. What I love, and I cannot wait to ride this at night. At night, the track does not have any lights, just the coaster, because they want it to look like shooting stars. So it looks really neat at night. But we rode both sides first thing in the morning, and it was a great roller coaster. So yeah, you like Velocicoaster, you're gonna love this ride.
That's really cool.
Yes.
They thought of everything. They
did.
It didn't seem like they halfway did any of it. Like it's a full we're here. What are you gonna do about it? It's like a challenge. So I like a challenge to the cousins down the street. What are y'all gonna do to match this? So that's your favorite. What if you could pick just a handful of your favorites there, what would you say? The Stardust, and then what else? Stardust
Racer, that was hands down my favorite. That was so great.
Like a favorite land, something like that.
Okay. Can it be meeting a character? Because I think meeting Toothless.
Whatever, the best thing that you did in each one.
Meeting Toothless was just great. Now, would I ever go back and do it? Probably not, because I don't want to wait 2 hours. The roller coaster there was good too, though. Meeting Toothless. We're going with Meeting Toothless. Harry Potter, Ministry, the Battle of the Ministry. I mean, you can't beat that. Dark Universe, I would say Monsters Unchained. I would ride with both eyes open this time. And I really cannot wait to do Donkey Kong. That ride looks a lot of fun. So I'm excited to do that one, but I'll have to tell you another time.
Yeah. Well, I think it's incredible that a meet and greet with a robot is like an animatronic is the highlight of the thing because, I mean, not to put too much on it. Everybody I've watched on YouTube, people are just crying. They're meeting and they're just so blown away that
Yeah.
it's such a thing. So,
Yeah, it was really fun to stand there and kind of watch him interact with people. And I'm that person who's looking around going, who is controlling him? Like I want to see. But it was like they nailed it. They really did. They did a great job with the park.
I'm so excited. I hate to see like sometimes these things people get excited and they go and well, it was this and I mean it was fine. You know, you could go, but I mean this sounds like if you could do it this summer, let's go. Let's get it. Let's make it happen as soon as possible. So, well, man, I appreciate it. Do you have anything else? Any parting tips? Anything for people if they happen to go? If they happen to want to go this year?
If you want to go this year, I'll be happy to book you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information. There are 2 other new hotels that have opened along with this park. They're just down the road a little bit. You can see them. They're not far. One of them actually has a walking path to the park, so they're not far at all. But they are value resort level. I will say this about their hotels. I've stayed at many of Universal's hotels. I've never once been disappointed. I think they are well taken care of. They do a beautiful job with their hotels. And from what I understand, Universal does not own the hotels. A different company owns and manages them. But they're beautiful. They do a wonderful job with them. So I would stay, this is going to be terrible. I would stay at a value Universal resort over a Disney value resort.
Okay. Wow. I mean, that's big words because I like a Disney.
I know. But I like deluxe. I stay in deluxe when I go. So that's my favorite.
Oh, and you have creme brulee in the middle of the day in the summer at a theme park. So that's
summer. It's
all right. I have one final question then. If you're going in the summer, do they have a lot of shade? What is the shade situation there? Because I know that's been a big deal at some of the other places that they open up.
Yeah, they don't. And I mean, they have a ton of trees planted, but of course, they've just been planted. So yeah, shade is minimal. And that is kind of the tip I'm giving my clients right now is let's be really smart on how we're managing our day. So clients who are staying at a Universal resort, I'm telling them, hit Mario first because that is the area where it doesn't have no breeze, doesn't have any shade. Do that first thing in the morning. Our plan for the day was kind of all the shows and the indoor rides. We're doing that midday. We're staying out of the heat. And it wasn't terrible going from building to building, getting in line because all the indoor queues are air conditioned. And so that was kind of nice. I will tell you the shows fill up quickly. So I would recommend you get there about 20 minutes early. They were closing the line around 10 minutes before. So you want to make sure you're getting there in plenty of time to get there. But yeah, if you're smart about how you manage your day, you can do just about every single thing in this park as long as the waits aren't too crazy. But, be smart. We took our cooling towels. We took fans. When it's 100 or so degrees, you got to be smart about hydrating and all of that. And if you do all that, it's manageable.
Good. All right. Well, you said you left at 10. You flew out at 10 that day. Is there anything worse than leaving the park while it's open and going home?
Okay. So lucky for us, it closed at 8 that night.
Oh, lucky. Okay.
And we got off Battle of Ministry at 7:51.
Nice. Okay.
We were like in the line going, oh, please help us get there faster. And because we were so sweaty and hot, we actually went back into the hotel and went to the locker room and showered. We showered quickly, got dressed, and then we grabbed an Uber at like 8:15 and took off for the airport. So we made it. We were really glad we had TSA pre-check that night. But yeah, it was.
Well, if you want to know how good of a hotel it is, they have a gym with a locker room. It sounds like it's the thing. So you're not going to get that at a lot of the hotels that I stay at. So
yeah, Yes, that was a really great perk that we thought of that day that we were like, oh, this would be nice. So,
Yeah, I had a trip to Orlando just a couple months ago, and we have a flight out of Louisville that I'm sure it's just a Disney Universal flight. It leaves at 6 a.m. and comes home at 10 that night. And
Yep.
so, on the way in, it's all people excited about. A lot of season pass people, it turned out, that were going to get some kind of perk and then come home. But then that flight home, it's sad and everybody's just sunburned and smelly. Like, it's a nice flight in the morning, but that flight home is just like you're riding the subway home from a long day at work, and it's just everybody's just the good times are over, and it stinks. And yeah, so good for you all for taking the shower on the way home. That's a nice thing. So
yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your experience, because I've been seeing so much going on, and I'm excited. I don't know when we're going to get to see it, but I'm even more excited about it now. So,
well, thank you for having me. It's always great to talk to you.
And I'll put all your information there. So, if anybody wants to book a trip, we've got the expert here. She's seen it all. She's not just going on word of mouth. She's seen it with her own eyes. So give her a shout and she'll do it right for you. So thanks again. And you all have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.